Hello Internet, my name is Sobrken and I would like to welcome you to the Under the Hood mini-series for Cyberpunk 2077, where you will learn how the world of Cyberpunk works and how we, as players, can exploit the mechanics for profit. You control the action too. If you want a glitch or a subject covering, then let your voice be heard in the comment section and I'll see what I can do. After watching this mini-series, you'll be able to see the world of Cyberpunk for what it really is and bend the fabric of its reality. If you can make it through the video without your head exploding, then I have some treats for you as a reward. Oh, and one last thing before we start. Consider joining the channel, subscribing, or helping me on Patreon. It's really appreciated. So let's begin with the big one. Fall damage cancelling, or FDC as it is known. This is a glitch close to the holy grail for speedrunners, and within a day of Cyberpunk's release, the foundations of the technique had already been found. At this time, the speedrunning community were trying to skip a long elevator ride near the start of the game and stumbled across the ability to slide off a ledge and land on some beams in a nearby elevator shaft without taking the fall damage that you normally would. Despite this being a strategy to save a decent amount of time, it wasn't used much due to the risk and the lack of understanding of how it worked. Over the next few weeks, more fall damage cancelling locations were identified, but the general consensus was you slide off and you might not take some damage. So I decided to look into this a little bit further and look into the mechanics. This is what I found. If you are unsure of anything in this next section or find that I have said something wrong, then please let me know. So for my testing, I had to first establish what causes fall damage. There are a number of tests you can do, like jumping off different heights and determining the height that fall damage starts, but it wasn't until I was underneath the afterlife that I found that the last known location is cached in the memory. As you can see in this clip, I jump off into the void, and no matter where I do it from, I will return to the point I jumped off. Using this location and logic, I could infer how fall damage is calculated. So here's the steps below. Fall damage calculation. 1. Player leaves solid ground and the position is cached as the last known location. 2. When the player reaches a negative velocity, a second value is calculated at the point of falling and cached also. 3. When falling, player's current Z value is compared to the value in step 1. 4. If the value exceeds a given value from the cached Z value in point 1 at any point, then damage is applied relative to the distance between point 1 and the current Z value when successfully landed. 5. When successfully landed and damage calculations have been applied, the values are reset ready for the next calculation. And a successful landing is when you exit the falling state into the normal state. While that might sound a little bit complicated, all you have to do is imagine that you have a box around you at all times that goes up as high as it goes down. If you jump or fall, the box stays still whilst you are in the air. Whilst you are in the air, if you stay within the box at all times, you take no damage. If you leave this box at any point, then damage is allowed but calculated from the point you started falling. This means that damage is applied if you fall off the side of something, jump too high, or if you jump up and land lower than you actually started. Now let's talk about how we can abuse this with fall damage cancelling. 1. Player enters a new state, sliding in this case, that requires exiting prior to the other actions being carried out. 2. The player's last known location on solid ground is cached. 3. Z values are compared as above and damage is calculated. 4. The player lands and awaits exiting of the current state. 5. The player falls again but within the safe value and the last known location on solid ground and point of fall is cached and updated with its new location. 6. Damage calculation is carried out again from the new stored location, resulting in no damage or minimal damage. So to imagine fall damage cancelling, again imagine the box as before. Everything is calculated the same, but with one exception. Because you are in a state that requires exiting, the damage step can't be applied just yet. So what happens is you initiate another fall and it moves the box to a new location, and if you stay within that box, then you receive no damage. The fall damage cancel is actually a suspension and recalculation of the damage. Again, if I didn't explain something fully, or you know I've stated something wrong or forgotten something, then please let me know in the comments. There are also other methods of cancelling fall damage that have been found, but none of them are as useful for a speedrun. Things such as triggering load zones before you land do exactly the same thing as FDC and change calculations because of loading. It is very difficult to find load zones in useful locations though. You may have seen in a YouTube short and my how to fly video the load zone FDC in action. It's not useful for speedruns, but it's fun to do from time to time. Well, I don't want to overload you with too much information, so we'll leave this video here. There are many more things to cover, so keep an eye out for the next one. If you really want a topic to be covered or you would like a glitch explaining, then let me know in the comments. I've been sobrken, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.